series of How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. As I see it, class warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom. It's worth it. How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willis. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. And of course, good morning to Northeast Texas, Southeast Texas, Northwest Louisiana, Southwest Louisiana, and every nook and cranny receiving the signals from our 100,000 watt transmitter. Folks, we are going to have a great show for you today. But of course, we've got to remember those folks all around the world who also listens. Guess what? Through the magic of the internet, also known as ARPANET, created by you, the people, we the people of the United States of America and around the world, to ensure that, hey, we can actually talk to each other. It wasn't nothing, absolutely nothing of value to all of us was ever done by any one of our named billionaires, people. Of course, our economic system allows them to take the credit for the composite knowledge of us all. But you know what? We are going to reclaim it, and we are going to create that equitable society that belongs to us all. Man, we had a great weekend. First of all, with the Houston Peace and Justice Center, we had our meetings with a whole lot of local activist groups that are going to make things right in this country. You know, that's what it's all about. Activism is what plays, and having where we can talk about it is a wonderful thing. As you guys know, we are in Fund Drive, but we have a solid show for you today. So make sure to stick around. During Fund Drives, there's a lot of folks that like to say, you know what? I'm going to switch the channels for now. People, have I got a show for you? I have a video piece here that you've got to listen to. So you got to hold on. We got a real show. But before we get busy, I got to throw it right back to the geniuses in the studio, the people that really make things happen around here. So let's get to El Señor Howard Reynolds and Jacques Van Beba.
Well, good morning, Egberto. All is well here. The Kansas string are holding up. And I would like to say to thank you for all the folks who donated over the weekend. We had a fantastic weekend, as a matter of fact. And our interim general manager, Sandy Weinman, was down here working it hard. He did a very good job yesterday afternoon. Board op 2 shows through Zoom and through Music Server. And somehow it all came together. And Sandy, I know you're here this morning. So welcome in. Thank you very much for yesterday. You sounded great on the radio, and I just wanted to make that point. Come on in.
Thank you, Howard. We did work hard over the weekends, and KPFT listeners were on our way to making our $75,000 goal for the Summer Cruise Fund Drive. There's even a T-shirt available as a thank you gift for $90. It says Summer Cruise, a beautiful design by Rico Hernandez. Just one of the many thank you gifts. And by the way, the picture of the boat and the summer cruise, there's even a blues cruise available as a thank you gift where Muriel would be playing tunes. But we'll get into all that later. Welcome to Monday morning. My PC is acting like it's Monday morning. Hey, hopefully we'll figure out all these details here along the way. Call 713-526-5738, option 1 to donate, or mouse it over to kpft.org and do the obvious. Click the donate button, or as Susan Darrow likes to call it, the donut button. Hey, it's Monday morning, Egberto.
Hey, I tell you what, the donut button, I didn't quite hear that one before, but I kind of like it. I could have me a donut right now, but oh my God, I can't. I have to wait until September before I can eat badly again. But anyhow, folks, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Support the program so that we can keep on doing it. But you know what time it is, man. It is Jacques Van Beba's time. Jacques!
Good morning, Egberto. How are you?
I am doing fine, brother. Talk to me.
All right. Since I've felt a great feeling of relief since Joe Biden stepped back from his second term and elevated Kamala Harris to run for president. At a time when our government is being taken over by the fascist capitalists who have no heart, a woman of substance, heart, and drive appears to set us on a path to greater harmony in the world. The question is, will we stand behind her as she wrestles with the Gaza issue and the war in Ukraine? Are we going to be able to stand behind her when she seems a little powerless at changing this? I say yes. I think she'll get there.
I think so too, my brother Jack. And as usual, you kind of took me a little bit off message, but I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about what you just said, add to what you just said. I mean, a lot of people like to talk about career politicians and, as if it's a bad thing, right? Career servant, career businessman, is that a bad thing? Career stockbroker, is that a bad thing? Career capitalist, is that a bad thing? I mean, there are people who say they want to serve in different ways, and there's people who say I want to rip you off for the duration of my working life. You know what? I don't have a problem with career politicians if they do a good job of it. She was a DA turned career politician. Clinton was a career politician. Uh, 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 my guy Biden was a career politician. I said my guy Biden. My guy really is Bernie Sanders, not Biden. Bernie Sanders, career politician. But you know what? All of these guys have made lives better for us all. I mean, you can try to what the corporatocracy have tried to do is make these guys seem like, oh, they're career politicians of it, as if it doesn't matter. But these guys that work and make their money, their bucks off of the back of the secretary, go right now outside where you're at, my brother Jack Van Bever. Go to the bus station and see how many people are standing out there waiting for the bus, waiting for the train. They're going to do some work while that guy has just woken up. That billionaire has just woken up. He's just maybe taking a taste of his high priced tea outside of his pool as his servant is serving him something, as all of us are at the bus stop or elsewhere making a buck for him. Folks, understand your worth. When you listen to TV and they try to make it seem like people are freeloaders, go to that bus stop and see how many freeloaders are out there. Let's see how many real freeloaders are out there. Go to the ghettos, the barrios, and Appalachia. See how many freeloaders are really there. Are there freeloaders? Of course they are. They try to make them the stamp of who we really are. America is one of the hardest working places on this planet. Period. Brother Tag, line number one. But before, let me do a quick pitch. Folks, please call 713-526-5738. Could we start getting a little bit of the donations early so that I can call you out and say thank you? Please. Right now, we're really urging, or I mean, you don't have to. Whatever you can, 713-526-5738, extension number one, or kpft.org, hit that donate button and be a part of the team. Join our membership. Allow us to do what we need to do to get good music, good messages, good politics out. 713-526-5738, extension number one. Please remember to tell them you're contributing in the name of Politics Done Right. Of course, it all goes into one pool, and I get not one penny. Let's go to Tag. Come on in, Tag. Line number one.
Hi, Egberto.
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. Great weather up here in Michigan.
Oh, wow. I'm happy for you. We're at 100 degrees today.
Yeah, we've barely gotten over 90 this year, so a few days and run the air conditioning, and it's all been good. I have a acquaintance who is a right-winger and posts on my Facebook page. And lately, it's all been gloom and doom, how bad things are for everybody, and the inflation's been running wild and stuff. Well, I find it ironic that he just went out and bought a boat. The irony in that?
It's a friend of yours, right?
Well, acquaintance, let's say. I wouldn't call him a friend per se, but I find it difficult to understand how these people can claim that things are so bad and then they're making capital purchases like that. And more than that, I bet she bought it cash too. So,
I had a piece. I don't know if you heard it that I did last week, right? People know that Trump is an evil being. People know that he's an immoral being. People know he's a rapist. People know that he's a thief. People know all these things about Trump. And then but they had one thing in their back pocket that could justify voting for such an evil being, even though they have kids that they tell not to do the things that the leader that they are going to vote for the leader of the world to do. They have kids they tell not to do that, but they had something in the back pocket, even something their kids could understand, right? They could say like, well, the reason we're voting for Trump is because Biden's economy is really really bad, and but under Trump things were good. All of those things are false, right? I gave the side by side last week in a video that I did that showed that even if we take COVID out of the equation, Biden's economy is much better than Trump's economy. I mean, it's all proven, right? So their vote for Trump is based on something else. They could use the economy as a crutch, but the reality is that the inflation rate is again back to where it was in 21, like when Trump left office, all just about there. The growth in wages is higher than it was under Trump. All these things say something completely different. So why? Their 401ks are much higher, and your friend bought a boat. What is the real reason they're voting for Trump? What do you think, Tag?
well, they want more tax cuts. I mean, and the other thing is that I just can't believe how nasty the Republican political ads have been. It's like they have no substance at all, no policy, no nothing. It's like smear campaigns, 100%. So fear. It's right back to the fear tactics again that they're using, and it's just hard to believe that they think they can get elected on that particular thing. So I'm just floored that the Republicans don't have anything better than what I've seen in this cycle. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, the Democrat. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Alberto. No, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the Democratic convention is this week. I don't know who planned it. I don't know. I hope that one of the things that they're going to do is not tell people how good things are, but ask people to look at their 401ks for those who have it. Ask people who have jobs now that didn't. Ask people, and then go ahead and let people know that we understand that they are working very, very hard and not making what they should, and ask them why will they vote for someone who would make life better for those on top, and then tell them, if you elect me, I will make sure to pass policies that would assist you. And in fact, the video that I'm playing today is going to be about the opportunity economy. So when I get a chance to do that, I'm going to do that. It's a 13 point something minute video that I'm going to play with it sometime within this period here. So thank you so kindly for calling, Tag. Anything else you need to say real quickly?
I've been working on a joke. I don't have a punchline yet for it, but you might enjoy it. Give you something to think about. J.D. Vance and Mike Pence and Dan Quayle all went into a bar together. But I don't have a punchline yet. So
okay, I know where you're going, and it's going to happen. I give you a few words for your punchline when you call back. Remember the word potato and how it is spelled, okay?
Yeah. Thanks, Berto. Have a good day.
Have a great day, my brother. Anyway, folks, it is like I said, we're going to have a great show for you today. I have a hell of a video that you're going to want to listen to. Also, though, we are in Fun Drive, and I'd like to ask of you to call now. I'm going to be pitching for another. Before I get to Johnny, Johnny, you're going to have to hold on for about 3 minutes, guys. I have to give a quick pitch and then throw it to Sandy. But I'm asking you guys so kindly, 713 526 5738. We are in Fund Drive, and as Sandy said earlier, I am at a donut, and that donut isn't for donate. That donut is for zero, meaning I have gotten nothing. Well, the station has gotten nothing so far this morning. So I'd like to kindly ask you to call 713 526 5738, extension number 1, and donate whatever you can. Right now we are asking for those who can to give us a coffee a month, or 2 coffees a month, or 3 coffees a month, 4 coffees a month. That is 5, 10, 15, $20, whatever you can. If you do it on a monthly basis, something that you don't even feel, right? You help us continue to do what we do, continue to learn and educate, as you're going to get a lot out of the video. I also have another vlog that I got up early this morning, and I started writing a blog on the tips policies of Trump versus Harris. Trump is out there saying, Harris stole my tip policy. Well, I just wrote while I got up early, it was on my mind. So I wrote a complete blog highlighting the differences between the policies. One is really Trump's tip policy is really for the rich. Kamala's tip policy is really for the working class. So, we do all of this stuff, presenting it in a manner that the mainstream media doesn't have the time or don't want to, because again, they have to make their commercials off of the corporatocracy who's really supporting them. So we're doing our part. So I ask you kindly to help us continue doing what we do. 713 526 5738, extension number 1. Can you give us a cup of coffee? Can you give us a cup of coffee? You can also do it at kpft.org. And here's a special. A few have taken advantage of this over the last cycle, not this cycle yet. But if you go ahead and donate $250, I'll drive whatever part of Houston and we'll meet, have a cup of coffee. There's one guy that called, I think it was maybe Patrick, that called last week and said he's going to get one this week, only if I think Johnny and a couple other folks come for coffee as well. And I said, sure, I'll do it, whatever. You tell me what you want, we'll do it. But look, on a serious note, I am at zero, and we need to collect for the station. So I ask you kindly to call 713 526 5738, extension number 1 to donate, or go to kpft.org. Let me throw it to Brother Sandy, the station manager. Sandy, how you doing again, man?
I'm doing okay. It's interim manager for those listening. It's Monday morning, and at noon today, we will be exactly 1/2 the way through our Summer Cruise Fun Drive. This is set up to be an 11-day drive. This is day number 5, and KPFT listeners, toward our $75,000 goal, we are only $36 short of the $44,000 mark. So we're trucking along. As Howard said, we had a very good Saturday and a very solid Sunday to go with it. So the listeners on the weekends really filled in the spaces here and set us up to be in a position to even end this drive early. However, it won't go anywhere past its current point unless somebody out there decides that community radio, commercial-free community radio, 54.5 years of service in Houston without any commercials, with very little in the way of underwriting, with our listeners providing the dollars it takes to pay the bills to power that 100,000-watt behemoth on the northwest side of town. That's why we're here. So if you haven't made a donation this drive, or perhaps never made a donation to community radio, but you listen, maybe you just found us, this is how we roll. This is how we survive. It's not the commercials, because we don't have those. Because if we did, in all likelihood, one of those sponsors might say, that Egberto guy, you get on at 6 o'clock every morning, he's kind of a Bolshevik. We don't like him. Take him off, or we're pulling your
Hey,
dollar. And if that were to happen, we couldn't pay the bills and there would be nothing. That's commercial radio. The commercial sponsors have a big say with their wallet, as you do too here. However, if you like what you're listening to, if you can get behind some of the messaging here and enjoy this program and maybe even call into this program, you got an ownership stake in KPFT. So please translate that into the support necessary to make it to October. That's what we're trying to do. Just pay the bills to October with our brief summer cruise fund drive. Now look, for those of you into boats, I heard somebody bought a boat. That's great. We've rented a boat, and on September 28th, Nuri will board that boat. Nuri, our amazing blues DJ who does blues brunch from 11 to 2 p.m. on Sundays. He'll be on that boat with a DJ rig playing you the blues. It's a 3-hour tour. Yep, a 3-hour tour. Ginger and Marianne will be with me at my house, but the captain and Gilligan, they may be on that boat too. Seriously, it's a $150 donation. You can break that up into $12.50 per month payments. In fact, anything you see on the thank you list, tickets or otherwise, can be broken up into monthly payments. Well, I understand how trying these times are in terms of stretching the dollar. So make it easy on yourself. Make it easy on KPFT. And if you say, make that a sustaining pledge, in other words, my $150 ticket, $12.50 a month, just keep going. Make it a sustainer. Your pledge will be matched with a $50 bill. If you say $5 a month to KPFT is what I can do on a sustaining basis, a $60 annual pledge, your pledge will be matched with a $50 bill. Any sustaining pledge coming down the pike here this morning, this drive, it's going to be matched with a $50 bill from an anonymous, very generous donor who has done this last few drives, who understands, like I do, when we get enough sustainers, fund drives begin to go away and the station achieves a measure of stability unknown to me and others. I've been there for 27 plus years, and this would be kind of a breakthrough for KPFT. So consider that sustaining membership. Consider community radio, the value of it, the idea of having your friends and neighbors have a microphone, a platform, local musicians get to let you hear what they got live on the air oftentimes. And wow, that was loud, wasn't it? And that's what KPFT is. It's a venue to support the local arts, the local music, the voice to the voiceless, the alternative commercial-free community radio that we need here in the third largest city in the country. Chicago, I'm sorry. I don't understand those statistics. No way. We're bigger. Come on now, get together, keep it here. Egberto.
All right, thank you, Sandy. That is 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Now, I just want to correct Sandy on one thing. And the only reason I'm doing this is because you know how the right wing is. I ain't no Bolshevik. I ain't no communist. I am a serious progressive, the one that wants people to get what they're worth. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm not a freeloader. I don't want freeloading. I don't want any of that. I work my off. I believe in a working day. It's important for us to get over that. I am a progressive, not a Bolshevik, not a communist. And with that, Johnny and then Leslie. But folks, for real, call 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Come on in, brother Johnny.
Okay, brother Egberto, not a Bolshevik.
A free enterprise. That's what I believe in. Free enterprise.
A regulated so-called free enterprise.
No, I don't believe. No, hold on. I don't believe free enterprise. Johnny, I want to clarify something for the audience. Free enterprise is not capitalism. Capitalism has no soul, no heart. Remember, capitalism is simply turning everything into capital, property. That's what it is. They don't quite say it that way, but the American worker is capital. Everything has been turned into capital and broken up into pieces of paper that some rich fat cat billionaire can trade. It's a new form of slavery. Free enterprise is what I believe in. You want to own your store. You want to profit on your work, your worth. That's free enterprise. Free enterprise with a solid social safety net that gives everybody equal access to success. That's not Bolshevik. That's not communism. That is free enterprise with a strong social safety net. That isn't capitalism either. Go ahead, my brother Johnny.
Okay, so I can't disagree with what you just said, because Robert Reich, you and I would probably agree that because Republicans have one of the things they have dominated is this idea of incrementalism, pretending
Right.
that we are about incrementalism and they are not.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that incrementalize every so slightly, getting that frog in the water. So I would say, in terms of definitions, we have to incrementalize our definitions over time, so that free enterprise, when someone hears that, it will mean something that it's supposed to mean, and not something that the other side wants it to mean. So
Exactly.
to what you said earlier with TAG, I would say that what the Kamala Harris campaign should do, amongst other things, during the televised convention this week, is to quite often play embarrassing videos of Donald Trump when he was a little bit younger. And he repeated himself in one video two or three times. He said that, now what did he say? Because I'm listening to you and I get derailed real quick.
Oh no, that's all right. Take your time.
Yeah, he was saying that under the Democrats, the economy does better. He said it. Those are his words.
Because that's a
Just like
fact.
Hillary Clinton, just like Hillary Clinton in her royal blue pantsuit up on the debate stage where Donald Trump said, hedge fund bunny Hillary said, from time to time, our version of capitalism has to be rescued by socialism. So I would play both, but I would especially play Donald Trump's words and then force him to say something about that on his tweet regime.
Hey Johnny, I like that. But you know what? You always bring some good insight. For the first insight that you brought is that, and I use it all the time, right? Is that the fight only begins after Kamala wins. Because when Kamala wins, the same pressures that Obama had, she will have, and we'll have to overcome it. We didn't overcome it with Obama because we set our butts on the tail. Now, when Kamala gets elected, we have to make sure she does what she needs to do, not what she's promised some corporatists to do, but what she needs to do. That's the first thing. Second thing, folks, they don't like to tell you this, but it's quantifiable and verifiable. The economy does substantially better under Democratic rule than it does under Republican rule. Why Democrats don't why the Democratic establishment doesn't push that is because of corporate control. They don't want too many things out of the bag per se, because a society that is broad based is much better than one that is singular. However, one that is singular only creates billionaires, millionaires, and carry everything up for. I got to go to Leslie, Johnny. Thank you very much for calling in, my brother.
One last.
Yes, real quick.
I'd like for her also on TV this week to remind everybody that Louis DeJoy is a criminal. He needs to be removed from office. He needs to be arrested and tried for thieving $200+ million out of the postal office by way of an unlawful contract that he forced them to sign, and for destroying machines and all the other things he's done to undermine the post office. That's one of the main messages she needs to deliver.
Yeah, thank you for bringing the post office up. Let's go to Leslie. But before I get to Leslie, I want to tell folks, please give us a call at 713-526-5738. We need your contributions, my dear brothers and sisters. I'm still at a donut, meaning zero, not at a donate, meaning zero. If you'd call 713-526-5738, extension number 1, we have great offers. You can get the Politics Done Right T-shirt. That is $100 contribution. You don't have to pay all of that at once, as Sandy was saying earlier. Likewise, you can go ahead and say, "Hey, I want to give KPFT a coffee a month, $5 a month or so, $10 a month if you can." We really need your support. We simply cannot do this without you. And you can see we really work towards making sure that you're informed. Let's go to Leslie. Come on in, Leslie. How are you doing this morning? Leslie, are you on mute? Okay, let me try one more time. Leslie, come on in. All right, let's put Leslie back on hold and go to Mikhail or Michael. Michael, you're on.
Hey, Egberto, it's Michael.
Good morning,
Utah.
Michael.
Yeah.
Brother Michael from Utah?
How are you?
I am
Yeah,
doing fine.
Utah.
Oh, Utah. Hey, how you doing? Talk to me.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine, my friend. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Well, I just wanted to call and say hi and tell you that I'm a long-time listener, and mostly just to encourage your listeners and callers to help us out with the fund drive.
I so much appreciate that, my brother. And since you said that, I wanted to give a big, humongous thank you to Ravi, who just gave us a kind contributions. We need about 10 more of those, and we'll be right on track. So thank you so
Heck
kindly,
yeah.
Ravi. Thank you so kindly. You're the first one of the morning. If we could get quite a bit more folks, you can call 713-526-5738, extension number 1. What else you got to tell me, Brother McCall?
No, not much, really, just that it's going to be really interesting radio, don't you think, between now and November?
Yeah, let me tell you, the thing about it is this. I am going to be, look, I'm going to tell folks how uh, I am going to make sure to continue to give the proper message, that positive message and that empowering message, because that's who we are as Americans. And I think if more of us do that, our voting will sort of reflect not doom and gloom, but optimism. This is a great country, right? This is a great country. There's a lot of good things that are happening. There are a lot of good things that will happen. We just have to go out there and, encourage it, Michael.
Yeah, I agree. People learning and kind of studying the way things are and incorporating that into their own political interests. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Agree with you 100%. Now, Michael, I got a video to play. Is it okay? Or do you have anything else to say before I jump into my video?
Just come on, let's support Egberto. Make those phone calls, 713-526-5738, option 1.
Look, brother, I appreciate your call. Great, great,
and
great hearing you.
Show.
Hugh Talk.
See you a long time.
Thank you, brother. Peace. All right. I tell you what, before I go to the video, let me pass it to Sandy to see if he has anything to add because it's about a 13-minute video. Sandy?
Thank you, Egberto. Looking forward to hearing what that's all about. Ravi, thank you. Ravi P., first person to donate on this Monday morning. There's room for you. We're trying to raise a total of at least $300 on this program this morning, and we are but $240 away from that. Two of you doing $10 a month will take us to our skinny goal. And for those of you at 7 o'clock looking forward to Democracy Now!, it's an extended broadcast for DN today. And over on HD2, we're going to carry everything in its entirety. We'll follow our bouncing ball here on this side of the grid, if you will, the HD1 signal, the 90.1 terrestrial signal. But our emphasis is on raising money for community radio so as to tide us through till October. If you have yet to donate, our phone number is 713-526-5738. Hit option 1, or our website, kpft.org, where there's a donate button, which is not a donut for Egberto. He doesn't have one anymore. He's going to be hungry later as a result. Maybe he ate the whole dozen and will be hungry in about 20 minutes from the sugar crash. Can't say. What I can say is, come on, it's Fun Drive. It's community radio. Let's get this thing funded up and keep on trucking. Egberto.
All right. Thank you very much, Sandy. Remember that number is 713-526-5738. The video is going to be good. And then let's keep bringing that stuff in. Governor Pritzker appeared on CNN State of the Union to support and defend VP Kamala Harris's Opportunity Economy speech, where she actually puts out what her economic plan was. Of course, it was tanked by the Washington Post editorial board. Oh, big surprise. But anyhow, I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Vice President Harris laid out some of her economic priorities this week, focusing on the high cost of living in the United States. Here's how the Washington Post editorial board responded. Unfortunately, instead of delivering a substantial plan, the Post wrote, she squandered the moment on populist gimmicks, unquote. Even some Democratic economists say her plans to target corporate price gouging and eliminate taxes on tips likely would not actually bring prices down or significantly help low-income workers. What do you think about these two policies she's proposed?
Well, I just want to remind you that, raising the child tax credit to $6,000, that is not a gimmick. That's a real thing that helps real families across the United States. There are a whole host of proposals that she has put forward. I know you'd like to go to the one or two, but I just want to say that the whole panoply of them, honestly, is good for average, everyday working Americans. That's what she's going for, is focused on the challenges that they have experienced. And yeah, there has been price gouging. And of course, there are economists who say, well, that's not really true. There's been inflation. But you've heard corporations talk about how they raised prices even above what the inflationary amount would be. And you saw that their profits went up significantly during that time period. So I think it's not unreasonable for her to say that the federal government should do what many states have already done, which is focus on that price gouging. And then don't forget, she's also focused on middle class housing. It is impossible in this country right now with interest rates as high as they are for people to buy a house. And until that amount goes down, until the 6+% interest rate that people are paying goes down, they need help from the federal government.
Let's be very clear here. Whenever they talk about populism, look at the title of the Washington Post review. The Times demand serious economic ideas. Harris supplies gimmicks. And why are these gimmicks? Because they're populist. Well, that's who the people are. And the truth of the matter is, there's nothing fictitious or not serious about this. If you want to know what is not serious policy, review Donald Trump's not serious policies. But they never do that in the aggregate. They all give Donald Trump a pass for coming out with ridiculous types of policies. This is a very sensible policy. And while Pritzker gave a good defense, he did not give the ultimate defense. The reality is, every time the population says they want something, or every time a policy comes out to support the population, we always ask the question, how does this affect business? Or does this make business sense? And if what they're saying, are businesses still going to be able to make the kinds of profits that they want? Look at how they start the article. Vice President Kamala Harris' speech Friday was an opportunity to get specific voters about Harris' presidency, how she would manage the economy that many feel is not working for them. Unfortunately, instead of delivering a substantial plan, she squandered the moment on populist gimmicks. Not one thing that she said was a populist gimmick. Here's what they say then. The vice president instead opted for a less forthright route, blaming big business, because big business are the ones who raise prices. Big business are the ones who exported jobs to then create a supply chain problem because they didn't keep the inventory necessary for having disruptions overseas. That's not the populist problems. That's the big businesses' problems. They are the ones who failed. They are the ones who should pay the price, not the people under inflation. So continue with the articles. So she vowed to go after price gouging by grocery stores, landlords, pharmaceutical companies, and other supposed corporate perpetrators by having the Federal Trade Commission enforce a vaguely defined federal ban on price gouging. We don't have to somehow vaguely define price gouging. We just have to look at what inflation is today, what products are inflated, and then figure out that the profit from those going to the higher profits that these corporations are stealing from you. I mean, it's not difficult to figure it out. There's nothing vaguely defined. This is well defined, and that some economists say that it's going to create shortages. No. If you believe in supply and demand, if these guys are inflating prices, then they're penalized for it, somebody else will come along and prepare the price, the product at the right price. If you really believe in supply and demand, if you really believe in a free enterprise system, but you see, you guys don't really believe in a free enterprise system. What you actually believe in a capitalist society that has the ability to gouge, because what you believe in is whatever the market will bear. Then it says they want to justify what they're saying, right? So they say, never mind that stores are currently slashing prices in response to renewed consumer bargain hunting. No, they're slashing prices because they're scared. They've already exhausted a lot of the monies that Americans got to the stimulus that they took back from Americans. And they're also scared that an administration is going to come in that finally says, oh my God, you can't keep ripping off the American people the way you have been. You know the article, Ms. Harris says she'll target companies that make excessive profits, whatever that means. Oh, you know what that means? That you can use computer models right now to see how these guys have inflated profits and executive bonuses that's a direct transfer of the wealth of the American people, the income of the American people, to those rich fat cats that do nothing to help. Now, when they talk about the grocery stores having small margins, yeah, that's true. Grocery stores have small margins. You know why? When you inflate the price of oil, when you increase the price of all these raw materials to enrich the few, the cost for the farmer goes up. So he has to increase his prices, but he doesn't get any more money. He's just passing along that cost. So the people who have pricing power on energy and all these mass systems are the ones who cause the price increase right through the supply chain. So my dear editorial board, get some smarts. Stop buying into what the plutocrats are telling you to do and learn how prices are increased. It's not the fault of the economy. I want to add of what the President Biden's or anybody else is doing. It's the cost that is input on you by the corporate sector. Let's give perfect example. When the stimulus was placed into putting money into the people's pockets, a lot of these supposed economists, they're not economists. They're just people pushing a oligarchic, plutocratic capitalist market. Whenever the president puts money into the pockets of people, you know what the corporate sector does? It says, hey, those people have money. We can raise our prices because we know they are going to have the money to pay it. That is a horrendous thing. Because here is the deal. If you believe in supply and demand, if there is supply of products and services people want, there is no reason for that price to increase. But if you have a system, an economic system that says, I know those people have money, whatever the market would bear is taking all of their money till they have no more, then that is what they do. That is true unfettered capitalism. Regulated capitalism is what Harris wants to do when she says, if you start gouging the American people, that's going to cost them their lives, cost them their economic sanity. We are going to stop that with policy to correct the devious, evil behavior of the corporate sector. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, and there is nothing gimmicky about that, Mr. Washington Post. Let's be clear here. They continue. Ms. Harris' housing plan is built on slightly firmer foundation in urgent constructions of 3 million new homes over the next 4 years. She puts her finger on essence of the housing affordability problem, insufficient supplies, because she wants to build 3 million. So they give her kudos for that. At least you're handling the supply problem. And by the way, a lot of the supply problem is occurring because the corporate sector is buying up homes at a cheap price and then holding them or putting them on the market at higher rents. Again, the supply is, we need more supply, but the supply is not all that bad if we threw all these empty houses on the market. But the corporations don't want to do that because they maximize their profits by holding it back. But that's another subject. She offers clever tax incentives to help make it happen. But her proposed $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time home buyers stimulates the demand side. So they're saying, well, if you give people $25,000 for a starter home, guess what's going to happen? The demand for homes are going to increase, which is true. But what she's saying, the demand for those houses, we will go ahead and give the people a $25,000 deposit. Now they're going to say, well, that's going to cause inflation. No, that's going to force those people who are holding all those homes on the market by saying, oh my God, we can't keep holding these homes anymore because these people are getting an incentive to buy new homes. You see the lie that these people would tell you, that they don't want you to use your brain to understand. Every time a policy comes out that helps the American people, which means by definition will take off the edge of the thievery of the plutocrats. In other words, prevents them from going excessively stealing the monies of the middle class. We have the sycophants in the Washington Post. We have the sycophants in the mainstream media trying to say, oh, that won't solve the problem. That's a populist idea, as if populism, there's something wrong with it. But again, we digress. Donald Trump has horrendous policies. And here we have, when presented with, what about tariffs? That's going to hurt the middle class, isn't it? We have Lindsey Graham trying to protect and say, no, the tariff is okay, and put it in a different category. But in doing so, he left it open for a very important side-by-side. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
I do want to talk to you about policies. Former President Trump talking about tariffs when he was at a rally in Pennsylvania yesterday. Of course, his proposal to impose tariffs on all goods coming into the United States. Take a look at what he had to say.
A tariff is a tax on a foreign country. That's the way it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's a tax on us. No. It's a tax on a foreign country.
Senator, do you acknowledge what almost every economist agrees to, which is that ultimately consumers bear the burden of tariffs?
In theory, yes. But how do you get people to change their behavior when they're cheating you? You put a tariff on their products.
I accept what Lindsey Graham had to say. I love what Lindsey Graham had to say. So I'm going to change his wording, though. And I'm going to say it this way. How do you change the behavior of corporations inflating their profits by creating inflation on the products you need to buy? You put a tariff on them, a tax.
Well, and just to be clear, the Nonpartisan Tax Foundation determined that those tariffs that you mentioned imposed some $80 billion of new taxes on consumers. So just to be clear, you would support his plan to impose tariffs on all goods coming into the U.S.
I repeat, how do you change the behavior of corporations inflating their profits by creating inflation and robbing, stealing the hard-earned dollars of the American people? You put a tariff on those corporations. You put a tax on those corporations. So I believe in Lindsey Graham's theory. You change behavior with a tariff. So we'll change behavior by forcing those corporations to do the right thing. Thank you, Lindsey Graham. You nailed it. All right, folks, I hope you like that. Calls are full, but before I jump to the first one, which is Brian, then Jimmy, I want to say, folks, please give us a call. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. We are, thank you very much, Raymond, for your kind contribution. We're still about at least 250, 260 away from our goal, folks. So please give me a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Like I promised, we have a full show we're giving you. We're taking calls. I beg of you to do your part to continue supporting us as well. We need more calls in for not only being on air, but some moolah, some money. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Allow me to do this, have a show as we're pitching for money, guys. But if we don't get the monies in as we're pitching, they're going to tell me stop taking calls and stop playing your videos, etc., until we collect. So I'm asking those of you that are listening right now, go to kpft.org, hit that donate button in the name of politics done right. Go ahead and support us now, please. 1 coffee a month, 2 coffees a month, whatever you can. Let me jump to Brian. And guys, I'm going to be limiting your statements to about a minute right now because we're coming close to the end and I got to get through all the calls and we're filled up. Brian, come on in.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Next time I donate, I'm going to have to donate to Nuri for his Sunday program. Because, hell, man, I can get into an argument with a left-wing guy anytime, but I can't hear music like the blues on Sunday anywhere other than this station. So, therefore, I'll donate next time to him. It still promotes the station. But it's
Brian, I love you, brother. I love you. You're doing the right thing. I don't care if it comes to KPFT or where. To politics done right or where. It all goes into one big pool, and you are one of our supporters that I thank you. Continue, brother, real quick.
Okay. It just seems to me that Kamala Harris is on the outside looking in, telling about the policies that she is responsible for, and her economic values is what's keeping this country in the shape that it is.
Okay, let me answer this. Can I answer you real quickly? Let me answer you real quickly. Number one, you can't speak out of two sides of your mouth. Once people say the vice presidents do absolutely nothing, that's what a lot of people would say. The vice president do nothing, and then when now that she's in, they're making believe like if she runs something in the White House. You have to make up your mind. Is the vice president somebody that's just in the wing waiting, or is the vice president doing something? The second thing I want to tell you, Brian, is factually, the economy does better under Democrats. You can look up the numbers, brother. And as far as what Biden was handed when Trump left, what he brought back was a miracle. Every economist would tell you. Nobody expected inflation to be at 2.9% now. Nobody expected us to be at full employment. Nobody expected a recovery from a catastrophic pandemic that was mishandled by the former president to be as successful as Biden has been. Biden is old, but he was very successful. If he were a younger president, he would have been winning this election in a landslide. Brian, real quick response, and then I got to go to Jimmy.
Okay. Now, if one of Harris's policies, which is a $25,000 grant for first-time home buyers, okay, don't anyone recall the housing market crash?
The lie of the housing market crash was that somehow poor people are the ones who caused it. No, it was the bankers. Let's talk about that tomorrow. Bring this call early and bring that subject up, and I'll explain that one to you. But Brian, I appreciate you as usual, and thank you so kindly for calling, brother.
Okay, everybody donate. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, brother. Peace. Let's go to brother Jimmy. Jimmy, is this Jimmy, my brother Jimmy that I met at HPJC this weekend?
Yeah. Roberto, it was good seeing you at the HPJC meeting on Saturday. That was a nice event, and it was good seeing you there and seeing all the other good people there. I'm calling today, though, because this week is the Democratic Convention, Monday through Thursday. I want to urge your audience to watch it every night. You will learn a lot by watching and listening to these speakers. That's on Channel 8 every night from 6 to 10 p.m. and on other channels, I think, at 9 p.m. But tonight, Joe Biden will be speaking. This week, you'll hear from Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Tim Walz, and Kamala Harris. And they are doing, Joe Biden and the Democrats have done so much good for this country. They've lowered drug prices recently. They're lowering student loans. They're supporting Ukraine in its fight for democracy against a Russian dictatorship. And Kamala wants to help people buy homes. She wants to bring down inflation. And she wants to build 3 million new homes. That will be excellent for the economy and for our living conditions. And our opponent over there, Donald Trump, he's a total narcissist. he actually said the other day that he said several times, "I'm better looking than Kamala." Can you imagine anybody saying such an idiotic comment?
Jimmy, you're so right. You're so right.
He also was a convicted felon.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy, I'm trying to hold everybody to a minute. So look, I appreciate your call. It was great seeing you. By the way, you forgot to mention Brandon Johnson. He's a mayor of Chicago. Did a great job putting things together. I met him at Netroots, the last Netroots that I went to in Chicago last year. He's a great guy. Talked to him for a while. Didn't get an interview, but I spoke to him for a little while out there. Great guy. But anyway, Jimmy.
I hope everybody watches that convention all week long from Monday to Friday from 6 to 10 p.m. on Channel 8.
Thank you, brother. You have a great one. Let's jump to David from San Francisco. Come on in, David. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, thanks, Egberto. Yeah, I just to remind people that the fake conservatives like monopoly. The Republicans are not conservatives. There's no way in the world that an honest conservative likes to put all your eggs in one basket. And this whole idea that they have gone out of their way to give massive, massive tax breaks to people that don't have any loyalty to America. They not only loot us, but then they go out of their way to send their money overseas to loot other people as well. And that's not a more perfect union. That's not developing a society that has any advantage to anybody. I just remind people that the housing prices have gone up apparently now because of the
corporate buying.
Yeah, but there's Harlan Crow, that creep that's trying to buy Clarence Thomas.
Yes.
He's got some software that's called RealPage, and that's the reason why real estate prices have gone up. Something like 30% in the last 5 months. This Harlan Crow, the guy that buys the Supreme Court, has gone out of his way to loot America and then to make everybody beg. These guys are just S&M freaks. There's no reason to not just tax the crap out of them and put them in prison.
No, I cannot disagree with you most. If we look at the petty criminal that goes to 7-Eleven and rip off a cigarette or something, and we want them to be beaten up and thrown into jail, the people that do us the most damage are those people on the top of the chain. Unfortunately, they have a lot of marketing that makes it look like what they're doing is magnanimous, which it is the largest form of thievery. So I'm glad that you've seen that, David. Real quick, David, I got to go. Anything real quick that you want to say?
Well, donate to Pacifica, donate to KPFT.
Thank you so kindly, my dear brother. Folks, that is true. 713-526-5738. We need your contributions, and I am way behind. I ask you kindly to call 713-526-5738, extension number 1, to donate, or go to kpft.org. Let's jump to Harry real quick. Harry, 1 minute.
Good morning, bro. Good morning, Howard.
Good morning, brother Harry.
Yeah, that's a good idea that Kamala Harris, and I read her economic plan, the $25,000 for first home-time buyers. That's and the 300 homes that the other caller was talking about, or 3,000 homes the other caller was talking about. That's going to help the housing market. And then she wants to do price control. I believe Richard Nixon talked about that when he was president, gouging the stop the price gouging. Let's put a ban on that. What was the other thing she wanted to do? She wants to get prescription drugs down. And she wants the child tax credit. That's a good thing. And she wants to keep the Affordable Care Act. I think I read something on that.
Make it better. Make it better. Yeah, make it better. Go ahead.
She's gonna make it better. And then let's see. Trump was talking about he wants to build house. He wants to buy federal land and then to put more housing on there. And then he said his idea to get grocery prices down is to do job-killing regulations. That's not going to do that. And he proved Dr. Richard Wolff right. Dr. Richard Wolff said this on Economic Update, that Trump doesn't understand what tariffs are. Okay, yes, with the tariffs, when you put the tariffs on the Chinese, their products will become more expensive, but it gets passed down to the consumer. The Chinese don't pay that. It gets passed down to us. And Richard Wolff was very emphasis and emphatic about it, that maybe Donald Trump has never taken an economics class. He doesn't understand how that really works.
Okay, here's the deal. Let's remember this. Being a billionaire doesn't mean that you're smart. Being a billionaire don't mean that you're informed. Being a billionaire just means that you know how to make profits on other people's backs. There's no billionaire, and I will discuss this with anybody. There is no billionaire that has earned it. Anybody wants to talk to me about that? Let's have a talk. There's no billionaire that has ever earned it. I got to let you go, Harry. I got to jump to Donald and then back to Sandy, okay? Come on in, Donald.
Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing? Support KPFT.
Well, look, if I'm hearing Donald's voice, I'm doing fine. Talk to me, Donald.
Hey, if as Sandy said, if the left shoe fits, hey, he was calling you out earlier, but yeah, it's Kamala Claus. She's got that bag of goodies. She's gonna give out all the free hooey, and everybody gets it. But it seems like it's only going to the 20 and 30-year-olds.
Okay, hey, Donald, I don't interrupt. Donald, I generally don't interrupt, but I'm going to have to slap you around on this one. Stop it. Did you make that same claim when the guy gave $2 million to rich people? Yes or no? That $2 million tax, that $2 trillion tax cut, did you say anything about it? Her policies are probably, when in the aggregate, going to probably cost $2 trillion. So to pay for them, we'll simply get rid of that $2 trillion tax cut and pay for them with that, okay? And guess what? It actually makes the economy better. It makes the economy better. But we'll talk another time. Donald, I love you. You like to call and rile me up.
Anything you need from me, just let me know. That's it. All right. If you need anything from me, let me know.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. All right, folks, 713-526-5738. 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to contribute. Let me throw it to Sandy.
Thank you, Egberto. Lively conversation this morning, as it is most mornings here on KPFT. For those of you looking for Democracy Now!, go ahead and tune in to our HD2 channel. The 2-hour expanded convention coverage has begun, and we'll be joining that program in a few minutes. But before we do, we are still well short of our goal. I want to thank Ravi P. out of Houston, and also Raymond from Cleveland up in the Northeast, up 59. Thank you for your donation. We need a few more people to call this morning to make our goal. Again, we're about $220 pledges away from that goal, about $240. You can join in by dialing 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. If you could do $120 or $10 a month, we have a Caroline Street coffee mug and a pound of Caroline Street coffee beans, courtesy Lola Savannah. For you as a thank you gift, the mug and coffee combination is a $120 gift for your support of community radio. But we do need to hear from you. We'll be on for about another 12, 15 minutes on this program and then join Democracy Now! But we need to hear from you. 713-526-5738, option 1. This is the final Monday of our summer cruise fund drive. We hope to bring the whole thing down on Sunday. And when we do, we hope we're in position to glide through the rest of August in through September and start October with the funds in the bank, powering community radio as a result of this fund drive. Thank you, Egberto.
Thank you, Sandy. This is KPFT Houston. We're at the top of the hour. We're a little bit past the top of the hour, but this is KPFT Houston. Folks, look, I have another video to show, but I can't show it right now because now I've got to pitch and talk because we haven't met our goal quite yet. And I really wanted to play this one. So give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. So here, look, um, this is the only station, the only community radio station. Yes, there are a couple other radio stations that are, sort of nonprofits, but we are the only one that gives you this value. And I'm not saying that just for the sake of saying that. I think those of you who listen to don't politics done right get it. You have agency in this program. You hear the callers that call in here. They're of every stripe, they are of every ideology, and we keep communication going. We keep it friendly, civil. Even those who came here initially uncivilly understand that all we want is to speak to each other, and they get it. This is the kind of radio you don't get everywhere. And I'm talking specifically now of politics done right, but of KPFT, the ability to hear the types of music that you're not going to hear anywhere. You listen to what Brian said earlier, my favorite MAGA brother, who talks about, well, I'm going to have to give Nudie the next time because I can't get blues like that anywhere else. That's who we are. That is who we are. Community radio. You get the local news programs that we have on air. I want to take this time to thank Steve. Steve, thank you so much. Tell Egbert to keep telling the truth and standing for the truth. We need more of it. Thank you so kindly, Steve, for your kind contribution. Folks, we still need about another couple $100 more. Somebody wants to call in and just do that with one swipe. That would be great. If it happened right now, I could go play my 5-minute video. But here's the thing. We really work very hard, and I want to say at a discount, but it's not even at a discount, it's free in the case of what I'm doing here. I enjoy making a difference. That's payment for me here at KPFT. Having a platform. I tell you something, I remember sitting down one night about 15, 16, 17 years ago. It was before I went full-time in activism and writing. And I sat down, and I was still doing Willie's Computer Software Company. That's my software company, and that was my business, and doing all of this. And at night, I'll sit down sometime in pitch darkness, and I'll say, damn, why don't somebody do something about this? And I hear all the crap on TV, and I'm listening to MSNBC, Fox, or whatever, and all of them are talking, and I'm like, why don't they say it this way? Why don't they say that? And then I remember I'm saying somebody needs to do that. And there's this little voice and this mirror that said, well, hell, if you know it, why the hell don't you do it? Then that's when I really started doing this stuff full time and saying this is going to be, well, the rest of my life I'm going to be doing the truth telling, politics, etc. I knew what it was going to mean. I knew it was going to mean a destruction of my income pretty much. But I have a daughter, and you have a daughter and sons and everything else. And the country, when this was going on, what Trump said was pretty true. The country was going to hell. And then we started working hard. The progressive movement got reinvigorated and saying we're going to make a difference. We're going to start working and making a difference and becoming a big part of it. I remember joining the Bernie Sanders movement and feeling empowered with all those young people saying, we are going to make a better America. We're going to make an America that serves all, not some. And then that metastasizing into so much more. And the thing about it is you're not doing it for what the corporate executive is doing it for, how much money he can make at the end. But you're doing it because you know you want to make a difference in society. You want to make a difference in making this a better world. You got a kid and you say, my God, I could go to the University of Texas as a foreigner for $40 an hour. And when I became a U.S. citizen, a U.S. resident, and then Citizen for $4 an hour. And my daughter started going to the University of Texas for orders of magnitude more than I paid for. The society kept on taking. Who is going to defend society? Who's going to not empower the people? People are already empowered. Who are going to remind the people that they're already empowered to do the things to make a better system for all of us? And a group of us, many of us all around the country, got together and started doing all kinds of projects. Project America, to really attempt at making things better. These are thousands of people. We meet all over the damn country, all over, and seeing results. But we need platforms as well where these things can occur. We need platforms where these things can occur. And we have them. KPFT is one of the places that gives a platform. It gives us the ability to inform, tell the truth. As Brother Steve just said, Egberto, keep telling the truth. And the truth sets you free. It's real. It really does set you free. It opens your mind. It allows you to speak to everybody. So I ask you, if you want a better America, if you want things really, really better, this is not idealistic. This is not something that is, this is real. Give us a call. Support the places where we promote these things for everybody. 713-526-5738, extension 1. I repeat, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. And I tell you, you can also go to kpft.org, kpft.org, and support us as well. We have a lot of people on the chat. I did have my screen up, so I want to give a shout out to Lizard Queen, to Billy Allison Irwin, to Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain. We have Lizard from Houston. We have Eric Hayes. We have Palsy Walsey in the chat. We also have para ver. Eric is really going down in the chat today. So folks, a lot of folks around, but we need contributions to keep us doing what we do, to keep us serving. Again, I'm doing this at KPFT, no charge, for us to come out and have a community. Give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or kpft.org. $5, $10, $15 a month, a coffee, 2 coffees, 3 coffees. That is a little bit to you, something you don't feel, but it makes a hell of a difference for us. It makes a hell of a difference for us. So I'm going to pass it real quickly to Sandy and then come back here for a last pitch.
Thank you, Egberto. Thank you for what you do. Egberto's a volunteer, gets up very early in the morning, has a lot of prep work for this show every single day. I can tell you, as a programmer, a fellow programmer, getting ready to do a show probably takes something in the order of 3 to 4 times longer than it does actually doing the show. And that's fast. That's running fast, which I assume Egberto, being practiced, can do. This effort, this achievement of coming to you, the achievement of KPFT being on the air after 54 and a half years, is something to behold. Now look, we've had 3 donations this morning from Steve, from Raymond, and from Robbie. That's great. On a Monday morning where it's a little bit of rust on the gears, you got to kind of get oiled up and make it through the Monday morning and start your week. I understand. This drive is super short. We're going to be out of here by next Sunday, maybe sooner. And your opportunities to support this program are going to be limited to 4 after today, 4 more days. But for right now, if you're listening, you dig it, you're thinking about it, perhaps you would consider getting it out of the way, making that call to 713-526-5738 and doing your part. Egberto talks about a cup of coffee. Give us a cup of coffee every month, $5, right? You go in the store, you get a medium Americana, And there it is, a Grande Americana, $5 bill with a tip to the barista. Hey, cup of coffee is always good. In fact, I'm looking for one right about now. However, having KPFT 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and on into the months, weeks, years, decades to come is even better. This is free speech radio. This is unique in Houston, Texas. This is the oasis in the media desert. Think about it. Consider that donation, especially if you've never given before. Politics Done Right t-shirts available, $100 bill. A $90 donation gets you a summer cruise t-shirt, a couple of apparel ideas for you, and a $150 donation gets you a ticket on the Blues Cruise with Nuri Nuri on Clear Lake on September 28th, 2:30 to 5:30, food and drink included. Come on. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. It's only KPFT, but I like it. Egberto.
Thank you very much for that, Sandy. So, folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. I'll play that video mañana. So I'm going to end the show pitching today. I'll play that video tomorrow. It's another good video. And I'll have probably a couple more as well tomorrow, shorter videos tomorrow. But we have some good stuff happening and good information to send you. 713-526-5738. As Sandy said, a coffee a month. While to you, it's nothing. If I were out there in the street just having talks with you, we'll go to a Starbucks or a Tootsie's or whatever, and you'll say, hey, Berto, let me buy you a cup of coffee. I'm asking you to do that for KPFT right now. A cup of coffee, $5 a month. I mean, you don't feel it, but it makes a big difference, not only to you. First of all, you are going to feel agency. I can tell you that. The very first time I gave to an organization like KPFT, you do feel a certain amount of agency in that gift. You feel agency, but it means more. It means more than what it means to you. Because what you're enabling, brothers and sisters, what you are enabling is we are listened to thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, both on air, online, in podcasts, in vlogs, everywhere. You can know that your $5, your $10 a month, your $15, whatever a month you give or whatever you give, that is actually assisting in promoting a message. And if that changes the vote of one person to a vote that aids us all, you have been a contributor for that. You have agency in the change of our country. And this is not hyperbole. You know, a river starts from a drop of water. The Mississippi starts from a drop of water. And it's the sum total of those droplets of water that creates the El Río Más Caudaloso, the river in America that puts out the most water. It's the sum total of those dots. So we're not asking each of you to give us $1,000, $10,000. We're asking each of you who can to give $5 a month, $10 a month. Somebody want to go out and have coffee? It's a gimmick. This is a gimmick, not what Kamala doing. $240, and they kind of like gimmicky thing is, hey, I come and have coffee with you, and we sit down and we rap. And I'm an easy guy to talk to. Anybody can tell you. Very easy to talk to, and we'll have fun no matter what. I guarantee it. I don't even care if you're MAGA, you're anarchist, you're socialist, you're communist, you're capitalist. I don't care. I have fruitful discussions with everybody. So, folks, give us a call at 713-526-5738. I'm starting to get the wrap. So before I wrap, let me see if Sandy has anything or the studio has anything to say before I finish the wrap.
No, just another fine show there, Egberto, and to remember to support KPFT. Jack, you got something?
Hippy dippy. subversive free speech radio for peace, community-minded, listener-sponsored, volunteer-driven, KPFT 90.1.
Sandy?
Okay. Tower bill, power bill, ASCAP, VMI, the bills stack up. It's $52K a month. I want to say thank you to Cassandra, who just chimed in. Thank you. A new member here, Egberto.
Thank you so
these
kindly.
Bills are real, and to keep us going, help us pay those bills. Please, 713-526-5738. We're now $120 shy of our goal for the program here. Somebody at $10 a month will make our day. Thank you, Egberto. We'll see you tomorrow.
Great. Thank you for the support, Sandy. Thank you for the support, Howard. Thank you for the support, Jack. It's a team. It's a team. It's a team. Folks, I got to get out of here. Please remember the parts of the show that we did air are at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. My name is Egberto. I love you all. My name is Egberto. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
And there he goes. And in comes Democracy Now! In Progress on KPFT Houston.
Of course, immediately, and we sued in federal court saying that if we were not within sight and sound of the United Center, the Convention Center, that they would be violating our First Amendment rights.